Hello, friends. This is Benjamin here from English Classes Online. In today's video, we shall be looking at how to answer questions in English test of orals in your external English exams. And we shall be illustrating the step-by-step explanation with practical past questions from the West African Senior School Certificate Examination. So if you are new to this channel, kindly subscribe to the channel. And if you are interested in getting other videos like this, click on the bell icon so that whenever I upload a new video, you will be informed instantly. Let's get into the lecture right away. I want us to share the screen and look at this topic together. So here we are, and we are looking at English test of orals in Wassce, Neco Ssce. Today we are looking at questions on consonant sounds, and we are taking our illustration from the Wassce June 2008 English Language 3 Test of Orals. Now, section 2 is where you find questions on consonant sounds. And we look at the way it is from the words letters A to D. Choose the word that has the same consonant sound or sounds as the one represented by the letter or letters underlined. An example is given below, and the example is this. We are given the word vice, and then we have options A. Option A is cat. Of course, we do not have the, what is underlined is CE, of course, which is S. These letters represent the sound S. Of course, we don't have the sound S in cat. Option B is dress. Of course, you can notice that we have the sound of S in dress. In C, we have show. There's no sound of S in show. In D, we have chalk, and there's no sound of S in chalk. So the answer is B, which is dress. And if we compare the two words, vice, dress, vice, dress, of course, it's quite clear that that is the answer. So that's exactly the way to pick your answer, because you can see it here. Okay. So that's the answer here. Dress is the answer. Okay. So we proceed to other things. That the way I told here, the correct answer is B, just as I already mentioned, because only dress has the same consonant sound as the one underlined in vice. Now answer the questions that follow. We are going to look at the questions that follow, and that we will do. So you can see from question 16 to 27 covers all the questions on consonant sounds. And but I want us to look at a number of things that will familiarize us with the consonant sounds in English. I want you to understand that in the English language, consonant sounds are a major part of the sound system of the language, which is called phonology. The Other second class of sounds we have in English is the vowel sound. And today we are dealing with the consonant sounds. Here we have the consonant chart. I want us to look at the consonant chart. You can see the consonant chart here. And sounds that are consonant are identified according to certain parameters. We look at the place of articulation, the manner of articulation, and voicing. These are three major parameters for looking at the various classes of consonant sounds. So here, let's take a look at the sounds P and B. You can see here they are described as bilabial. Bilabial in the sense that your upper and lower lips are involved in the articulation of this sound. Before you pronounce the sound P, your two lips will close, and you can watch my lips. P, the two lips come together and suddenly open, and then the sound of P is heard. Now, these sounds are also described as stops or plosives. A plosive sound is a consonant sound that involves the total obstruction of the A string. The A that is used for speech sound production originates from the lungs, passes through the trachea or windpipe, and getting to the voice box, which is the position of this lump on your throat called the Adam's apple. The sound is modified, and that is where the sound is modified to become either voiced or voiceless consonant. It might interest you to know that all the vowel sounds are voiced, but the consonant sounds are either voiced or voiceless. And so the plosives involve the total obstruction of A string. In the case of the bilabial plosives, such as P, you can watch how I articulate the sound of P. First of all, my two lips close together, thereby obstructing the A that is coming from inside. And so as I close the two lips in preparation for articulating the sound P, there is pressure bottled up within my oral cavity, that is the mouth, behind the closed lips. And when I suddenly open my lips, then the sound will escape with an explosion. That is why it is called a plosive sound. Now watch as I articulate it. P, P. Of course, you can perceive it. Now, as you try to actually articulate that sound, I want you to place your finger on your Adam's apple as we articulate P and B, and we notice that one is voiced and the other is voiceless. Of course, when we articulate P, normally, we do not add voice to it. And so, watch as I articulate it. P, P. You can, I am trying as much as possible not to add voice to it. And then, even if I add a little voice to it, yet you discover that there will not be a remarkable vibration. Just place your finger on this lump on your throat. Now let's attempt to pronounce P. 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 Okay, let's now go over to B and articulate B and watch what happens as you place your finger on your Adam's apple. B, B. You can see that it is shaking like an earthquake because it is the voice sound. When the A that is passing through the windpipe gets to this larynx, which is the voice box, there you have the vocal cords. And the opening between the two vocal cords is called the glottis. And so let me attempt to show you what this is like. Now, just something like this. Let me attempt to, okay, let's assume that this is the vocal cord, and then here you have the glottis, okay? So you can see this opening, and then the A is passing from here and getting to this particular place. Of course, the vocal cords come together. They close if it is a voiced consonant. These two vocal cords tend to close. And so the A will be forcing its way through the glottis, thereby causing a vibration. And that is how the voiced consonant is produced. In the case of the voiceless consonants, such as P, of course, as the A stream is passing through the glottis, the glottis is wide open because the vocal cords do not come together when we are articulating a voiceless consonant. And that is exactly the difference between the voiceless and the voiced consonant. Now we can look at the various space. F and V are voiceless and voiced labiodental fricatives. When we talk of labiodental, we are saying that the lips, which is labio, and the teeth, which is dental, they are involved. Now, attempt to pronounce F. Let's assume we want to pronounce the word fan, but we are not articulating it audibly. Notice what happens, how your tongue, the position of your tongue, and of course, your teeth and your lips, how they relate when you pronounce fan. You can notice when I say notice how my lips come in contact with my upper teeth, and that's exactly why it's called the labiodental fricative. Now, the fricative is the manner of articulation in the sense that this there is a partial contact between the lips and the teeth, and then the A escapes with a hissing sound, and that is the manner of articulation that makes this sound the fricative. There are other fricatives and they behave in similar manner. And so let's attempt to articulate F and V. Again, place your finger on your Adam's apple as we attempt to articulate F. You can see I'm not trying to add, I'm trying not to add voice to it. Then, okay, fa, fa. The initial sound, which is the sound of F, has no noticeable vibration. But now let's look at V. Va, va, V, V. There's very palpable vibration that you can notice as you place your finger on your Adam's apple. And so we have other sounds that are mentioned here, but we shall be quickly going to the next charts so that we will be able to look at them further. And so let's go to our next charts. Now here, this is the consonant chart, which I labeled number 2. You can see it quite clearly here. Manner of articulation. This is manner of articulation, and here you have place of articulation. So these are very important. And then you look at critical factors for determining how our consonant sounds are articulated. How is the sound produced? Where is the sound produced? Is it voiced or voiceless? I mean, these are the 3 parameters. The place of articulation tells us where or the articulators involved. And then the manner of articulation shows us how. Like I said, the plosive involves the complete obstruction to A stream, a sudden release, and then the air escapes with a plosive, an explosion, if you like. Then in the case of the fricative, there is a partial contact between the 2 articulators, and then the air escapes with a hissing sound, as we saw in F and as we saw also in V. Now, that is the fricative. Then we have the affricate, which combines the features of the plosive and the fricatives. It begins with a total obstruction to the A stream, and then the sound comes out with a sort of hissing sound, you know, or something resembling that. All right, so then the nasal tells us about the sound that is produced with the air escaping through the nose. From the nose or nostril, you have nasal. The nasal cavity is the inside of your nostrils. And so when you produce the sound M, of course, the A escapes through the nostril. Again, this is a bilabial sound. To produce M, your 2 lips come together. And so you watch my 2 lips come together. Me, or mine. The lips first come together. And again, if you close your nose, you won't be able to produce this sound. Me. Of course, it will distort the sound. The same thing happens when you produce N or ng, which is represented by the letters NG as you have in sing. All right, so these are the nasals. These are called nasals. While this is a bilabial nasal, this is an alveolar nasal, in the sense that to produce N, your tongue establishes some contact with your tooth ridge, which is called the alveolar. Now try to produce N. No. You can, of course, notice that your tongue is touching the roof of your mouth, which is the tooth ridge. While this one is a velar nasal, of course, there is the soft palate that is, you know, right inside. And of course, when you are to produce any of these sounds, especially the ng, of course, you discover that the soft palate is in contact, you know, is in contact with the tongue, and you produce ng. You notice that the back of your tongue is establishing some contact with the soft palate. Now, these are the intricacies. These are, you know, the rudiments, the processes that are involved in the production of our speech sounds. Now, let's, of course, go further and look at other aspects of this particular topic. We shall look at this vowel sound. These are the 24 consonants in English. Of course, you can see them. Let's go through them. Here you have P as in peep, B as in beep, T as in ten, D as in den, K as in cat, G or G if you like, as in get, F as in fish, and then the dental, voiceless dental fricative, which is articulated with the tongue establishing contact with our upper teeth. Or in some cases, our tongue is sandwiched between the upper and the lower teeth, which is why some phonologists describe this sound as interdental fricative. Then we have the voiceless here, and we have the voiced here. And so the sound is produced. Watch as I produce the sound of TH in thigh. Watch what happens when I pronounce thigh, thigh. And if you try to do it correctly, you will notice that your tongue establishes some contact with your upper teeth. That is why it is called a dental sound. All right, so then the voiced, one thing you need to understand is that the voiced, you add voice to it. And so watch what happens when I produce the sound this, this, this. There's a slight difference. Thigh, thigh, this, this. Now, for second language users of the English language, you will notice that most people pronounce the voiceless dental fricative like T. And so some people will pronounce this as tie, tie, right? As if they are producing this sound. Now watch, T, I, E. So when some people want to produce this sound, thigh, they will produce tie. Now, but then there's a reason for that. Of course, you can notice too that even when you produce this sound correctly, the voiceless dental fricative has some slight resemblance. It leans a little towards T, while the voiced leans a little towards D. So it's not surprising that if you ask some second language speakers of English to produce this sound, THIS, they will say this, thereby, you know, articulating the sound of D instead of this voiced dental fricative. So that should be taken note of. Now let's continue. S, set, Z or Z, zoo. This is the sound represented mostly by SH, and you can call it she or sha or sh. All right, you can notice that this is voiceless. This is also a fricative, and you notice the hissing sound. And okay, so this is ship, ship. Now, this is the voiced counterpart, is also the fricative, and of course, this is the sound we have in measure, measure, measure. Now, it is wrong to say measure, right? No, that's not the sound. It is measure, j, 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 j. While this is sh, 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 this is j, j, measure, measure. All right? The next sound is H, hen. Then this is the cha sound. Of course, this also is a fricative, and it is represented by the letter CH. Now, if I produce this as voiceless, this is ch, ch, as in church, church. This is the voice counterpart, which is G, and as in judge, 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 judge. Of course, this U here is a central vowel sound. So when we shall be looking at vowel sound, we will be able to look at the central sound. Of course, that's the sound we have in U here. So it is between O and A, and so it lies in the border between. So a lot of people pronounce this as George, but this sound is not O, it is judge, 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 judge. All right? So let's proceed. Then the next is M, man, N, noun, ng, sing, L, let, R, ride, W, wet, J, yet. Now, you will notice that these four last sounds are called approximants. Approximants. All right, so while L is called a lateral, of course, you could call it a lateral sound. All right, but the four are approximants. Approximants are consonant sounds that have some vowel qualities, features of a vowel sound. And of course, the one that is more semi-vowel than the rest is this particular palatial semi-vowel, this last one, which is J. In some varieties of the English language, this phonetic symbol J is represented by Y in some cases. In British English, it is this phonetic symbol, and the word yet is articulated with that J. If I transcribe this, this is exactly what you have. Please take notes. Okay. So literally, it is like saying jet. All right. Although in most cases people say yet, or if you the same thing you have in yes, and when transcribed it is jess, jess. All right. Now these are phonological peculiarities, and we just need to take note of them, because this is exactly why most students find it difficult to pick their correct answers in the test of orals, in the sense that, they try to pronounce English words the way they are spelled in writing. But that's a huge mistake, because there's a marked discrepancy between letters and sounds. In writing, we use letters, but in speaking, we use sounds. and letters are mere symbols used to represent sounds. And in most cases, sounds differ from letters. All right, so let's proceed. This is where we have the consonant pairs, as I earlier mentioned, the voiceless and the voiced. All right, so again here we have P, which is voiceless, as in peel, B, bill, T, try, D, dry, S, sip, Z, zip, K, could, G or G, good. Of course, when we describe this as an alphabet, we always say G, you know, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, you know. But then the sound is G, all right? All right, so then we have F, fan, V, van. Then we have sh, and then we have choke, we have j, we have joke, we have sh, we have cash, we have j, we have casual. Then we have which we have in throw. Of course, we have a similar sound, the voice dental sound that we have in do. I earlier explained the way these sounds are articulated. So let's proceed. I just want us to familiarize ourselves with the various sounds so that when we go into handling the questions, we will know why we are picking certain options as the correct answers. Now, this is the consonant P, the second one, and here we have voiced and voiceless also remarkably noted here. Then we have F, sorry, we have F in fat, K in come, P in pit, S in sip, T in ton, Ch in chin. Then we have the voiceless dental in thick. We have sh in pressure, pressure. Of course, we have V in vat, G in gum, B in bit, Z in zip, D in done, and then the G in gene, and the voice dental sound in this, and G in pleasure, pleasure. All right, so let's go to the next one. We just want to look at very adequate examples. The same thing we have here, consonant based, more on voiced and voiceless. Here we have voiceless, here we have voiced. All right. P in pack, T in town, K in coat, F in fan, S in sip, sh in shore, ch in chain, in tie, then B in back, D in down, G in goat, V in van, Z in zip. Then we have J in treasure. We have J. Of course, this particular J is just denoted with alphabets in quotes, but you have seen the actual phonetic symbol, which I want to actually produce here so that you won't be confused. This particular G is presented by this. Yes, that's something like that. That's exactly the way it is. So this is G in Jane, and then we have the voiced dental fricative in in die, die. All right, so let's see if we are true. Here we have the 24 consonant sounds also reproduced here, and I want us to actually look at them and the various how these sounds occur in English letters in written words. So we have P in the words pie, spot, and tapped. So double P in tapped are letters that represent the sound P. Now the sound B is represented by the letter B in buy, in lab, and in bribe. The sound M is represented by the letter M in my, in smart, and in lamb. Now you can notice that where you have MB, B is silent and M is pronounced. The sound F is represented by the letter F in fear and in awful. That is represented by the letter GH in laugh. The sound V is represented by V in vi and in even, but is represented by the letter F in ev. Of course, most people pronounce this as off, but that's actually not correct. This is the actual transcription for F. You can see the schwa sound in combination with V. That is F. Now, when people pronounce off, they are pronouncing the word with double F. That's the one that you can pronounce as off. And so you can articulate, you can transcribe this as off. Okay? This is the actual off. But the one with single F is F. So there is the V sound in that particular word. Okay, so then we have the voiceless dental fricative represented by TH in thigh and in width. The voiced dental fricative is represented by the letters TH in die, other, and that. The sound T is represented by the letter T in tie, in mat, and in stop. The sound D is represented by the letter D in die, lad, and mobbed. Of course, you discover that the ED past tense morpheme, when it comes after a voiced consonant, is pronounced as D, but when it comes after a voiceless consonant, is pronounced as T, as we have in mapped, all right, or picked. But here we have mobbed, because B is voiced and the ED comes after the voiced consonant B, so ED is pronounced as D, mobbed. All right, that is the phonological rule I have just stated. The sound N is represented by the letter N in nigh and represented by double N in sunny and single N in man. The sound S is represented by S in sigh, is represented by double S in pass, and is represented by the letter C in rice. The sound Z is represented by the letter Z in zap, is represented by the letter S in loose, and in beds. Again, you can see that the plural morpheme S has a phonological rule for articulating the sound. When it comes after a voiced consonant, it is pronounced Z. But when it comes after a voiceless consonant, it is pronounced S. And that is why you have cats, because T is voiceless, cats. But then you have cards, because D is voiced. And we have beds, not beds, beds. But if we are talking of pets, the plural is pets. So there is always a phonological rule. As I often emphasize, every language is governed by rules. And to learn to use the language correctly, either in spoken or in written form, you need to familiarize yourself with the rules that govern the language. And that's what we are attempting to do, trying to look at the phonological rules so that we will be able to get quite familiar with these sounds and be able to pick the correct sound, identify the correct sounds in written English words, which is what is actually required in these exams, such as the Wassce or the Neco Ssce. Even in our everyday communication, we need to master the speech sounds of the language, because when you speak with clarity, it is because you have mastered the art of articulating the speech sounds correctly. Now let's continue. The sound R is represented by the letter R in rye and represented by double R in barrel and single R in fur. The sound L is represented by the letter L in lie and double L in cell, single L in slap. Then we have the sh sound, or sh, right? We have it in shy, represented by the letters SH. In the word nation, it is represented by the letter T. So you can see that there is really a discrepancy between sound and letters. Even the letter T can represent this sound, you know, which you have in shy, then you have it in nation, but you don't have SH, what you have is T. In the word machine, the same sound is represented by the letter CH, machine, all right? Then we have the sound G, in azure and in vision, azure, vision. We also have it in occasion. Then the sound of the chi sound is represented by CH in child and by TCH in watch, CH in church. Then we have the G sound represented by DGE in judge, by G in gene, and by DG in lodging. The sound J is represented by Y in your, and by the letters E, A, U in beautiful, and by U in cute. Now, when what you notice here is that the sound U, which you have in beautiful and in cute, actually, you know, points to this sound. And that is exactly why we have them mentioned here. In subsequent lectures on consonants, we shall be looking at some of these peculiarities. The sound K is represented by the letter K in kind and in think. Then is represented by the letter CH in school. The sound G is represented by the letter G in guy and in lag. But in the word eggs, it is represented by the letters double G. The sound ng is represented by ng in bring and in gong and in angle. The sound H is represented by the letter H in high, in happy, and represented by the letters WH in who. The sound W is represented by WH in Y, by W in wish, and in award. So we have been able to look at the various consonant sounds. By the way, there are 24 consonant sounds in English, and we have been able to look at them one by one. I think that is all that we need to see. So let's now go back to our questions. We have seen that we took our questions from Wassce June 2008 English Language 3 Test of Orals. And the questions are in section B, which are questions on consonant sounds. Now let's proceed to the questions directly. All right, so here we are. Now we are given a word, and the letters that represent a certain sound are underlined, and we are to pick a word that has the same consonant sound as the letter or letters underlined. Now, how do we do this? We have familiarized ourselves already with the various consonant sounds of the English language. So now we are more knowledgeable about these sounds. All we need to do is to pronounce the given word and identify the sound in the given word. Then we pronounce the options one by one, and we identify the one that contains the sound that is the same as the one in the word we have been given. Now let's start with the number 16, which is bang. Underlined is ng, which is the velar nasal, ng. Now let's look at where we can find this. This is plunge, plunge. Of course, that is not the sound. So plunge is out of it. Sing is also out of, singe. This is really not sing, this is singe. Singe is out of it because we are not noticing the ing we have in bang. But here we have mangle, mangle, mangle. Now there's a striking resemblance here, mangle. And then we have danger. This is eliminated automatically. So the option to be chosen is mangle, mangle, bang, ng, mang. Now if we remove the LE, what we have here is mang, bang, mang. All right, so you can notice the resemblance there. So the answer is C. When you understand the procedure, it becomes quite easy as ABC. Now, number 17, we have smooth. And here, what we have is the TH, which is the dental sound. All right? And of course, this one is a little bit exceptional in the sense that this is actually a voiced dental fricative. In most cases, voiceless dental fricatives always end, they come as at the end of a word. The word smooth ends the word, but it is a voiced dental fricative. So let's see. Now, smooth, smooth. Now watch how my tongue establishes contact with my upper teeth. When I say smooth, smooth, or my tongue attempts to protrude between my upper and lower teeth. Smooth, smooth. All right? Now let's look at the options. Option A is without, without. This resembles that. I want you to articulate the sound and notice the movement of your tongue. That is very important. Without, without. All right? You won't find this when we talk of ethics. Ethics, no. When we talk of tooth, tooth, of course, it's not. When we talk of panther, it's not. So the answer is without, without. So that's exactly the answer. Then number 18, we have fad, and the consonant on the letter underlined is D, which represents the sound D, fad. Well, option A is adjust. Even though we have the letter D in adjust, D is silent. It is not adjust, it is adjust. Then B is adjective. Again, D is silent. You need to notice the principle of silent letters in English words. In some cases, certain letters are just there in written form, but in actual pronunciation, such letters are silent, and examiners are keen on bringing such letters to set trap for the candidates. If you do not understand the phonological principle, you will pick the wrong answers. So D is silent in adjective, but here in double, of course, we pronounce D quite clearly. It's noticeable. Double, double. Then again in the word adjourn, D is silent. So we have three options that have silent D, and they don't constitute the sound of the language in those words. So you eliminate them. All right, number 19, we have cut, cut. And C underlined, it represents the sound K, K. All right, so let's look at the options. We are looking for the sound K, and any word that contains the K becomes the answer, as simple as that. Option A is C. Of course, we don't find K in C. Option B is ocean. So even though you have the letter C that you have in cut, these sounds do not have, these letters do not have, these words do not have the sound of K. That is the important thing. You are looking for the sound, not the letter. Option C is cell. Again, you don't find a D. Then option D is hike, hike, cut, hike. You can notice D in hike as you have in cut. So you pick the answer. Question 20, we have gab. The letter B is underlined, which represents the sound B. You pronounce the word, you identify the sound, B, B, right? Then you are looking for the sound B as you pronounce the various words. Most candidates in these exams, they fail because they make no attempt to pronounce the words one by one. They pick by the rule of the thumb. It's like they are gambling, you know. And you do not get the answers by gambling. You get it by being knowledgeable about the phonological rules, the underlying principles that will enable you to identify the correct sounds. So gab, we are looking for B, and option A is thumb. Again, B is silent in thumb. B, we have stab. Again, you can notice the sound of B in stab, stab, gab, stab, gab, stab. You can notice the B in both words. Then option C is limb. B is silent again. Option D is climb. In climb, you don't pronounce B. All right, so that is the trick. Our answer is B, which is stab, because it has a striking resemblance with the B in gab. Now, question 21, we have lump. And the sound, the P underlined, represents the sound of P. A, we have pain. This is like it because we can notice the sound of P in pain as we have in lump, pain. Then let's look at B, cool. P is silent in cool. P is silent in receipt, which is C. Even though we have P in receipt, P is silent. P is silent also in face, even though we have PH. PH is pronounced F in face. So it is only in pain that we find the sound of P. So we pick option A. Question 22, we have flash. SH is underlined, representing the sound sh. All right? And then we are looking for this sound. Option A is lunch. We don't find the sh sound there. Then option B is choose. Again, we don't find the sound there. Option C is ancient, ancient, ancient. Again, we find that the sound is here, ancient, ancient of days, all right? Ancient. So it's quite pronounced here. D is question. Even though we have that sound in question, yet it's combined with T. So in ancient, we have the sound just conspicuously featuring in that word. So we pick that option. Question 23, we have both. T is underlined, representing the sound T. Option A is watch. Even though we have T in watch, T is silent. So it's eliminated. B, option B is batted. Of course, we can perceive the sound of T in batted. Boat, batted, boat, batted. All right, so that's the correct answer. But let's look at the remaining options. Option C is mortgage. Even though you have T in mortgage, T is silent. In D, we have wrestle, wrestle. Even though we have T in wrestle, T is silent. It's not wrestle, it is wrestle, wrestle. It's just as you have in listen. It's not listen, it's listen. So T is silent in certain words. And that is the trick that examiners are so much in love with. They bring these options to confuse the candidate. Of course, to know which candidate actually know their onions, because when you are knowledgeable about the phonological principles, then you will notice where the sound occurs in a word and where it does not. All right? Which is why we are painstakingly going through this example. This is an actual Wassce exam question that we are illustrating with here. So if you understand the principles, it will be quite easy for you to pick the correct answers. Now, question number 4 is gaze. Z is underlined, and that is the letter representing the sound Z. Option A, we have debris. Z is not there, is not debris, is debris. Even the S is not pronounced. Option B is roots. Roots, because of T, all right? T is a voiceless consonant, and then the ES, which is the plural morpheme coming after the voiceless consonant, is always pronounced as S, so we have roots, not roots. Then C, we have ways, ways. Of course, this is the answer because just like the phonological rule I earlier stated, that when the plural morpheme S comes after a voiced sound, it is pronounced Z or Z. But when it comes after a voiceless consonant, it is pronounced S. And so S, the same S, when it comes after T, we have roots. But when it comes after the voiced sound here, we have ways, ways. D is cups, cups. All right, so the correct answer is C. Question 25, we have thick. Again, the letters TH on the line represent the sound Th, Th. Of course, that's what I called the voiceless dental fricative. And so we are looking for that sound. And option A is wreath. In most cases, when you find TH and you have something like E coming after TH, it is the voiced dental fricative. So this leans a little toward D, as I earlier pointed out. So what we have here is wreath, wreath. Then again in B, we have weather, weather, weather. Of course, this is the voiced one, so it's eliminated. We are looking for the voiceless. Option C is rather, rather. Again, this is voiced, so we are looking for the voiceless. Option D is wrath, the wrath of God. Now, this is actually the answer. Wrath, thick, wrath, thick, wrath, thick. Now, notice when you articulate each sound, the movement of your tongue. That is very important because sounds are articulated by the instrumentality of the articulators. The articulators are the tongue, the lips, the teeth, and the tooth ridge, and some other articulators such as the nasal cavity. And of course, we have the soft palate, the hard palate, and all that. Of course, you learned your organs of speech in your junior secondary school 1 or 2. You know, in the junior school, you were taught organs of speech. All right, so here we have question 26, and the word given is seed. Underlying letter is S, representing the sound S. We are looking for the sound S. Option A is reason. Even though we have S, the S in reason is pronounced Z. Then option B is resign. Even though we have S, it is pronounced Z. Option C, we have mouths, mouths. Of course, here again, we have, because this TH in mouth is the voiced one, the S here is Z. So that also is eliminated. And option D is consult, consult. And that's exactly what we find there, consult, consult. Of course, it is consult. That's exactly what we have here. So that is the correct answer. Then question 27, we have the word pale, and underlined is L, which represents the sound L. Then option A is lack. Again, immediately here we can notice the sound L, pale, lack, pale, lack. So we can notice the sound of L in both words. So Obviously, option A is the answer, but let's look at other options. Option B, we have arms. Even though we have L in arms, L is silent. Option C is chalk. Even though we have L in chalk, L is silent. It's not chalk, it is chalk, chalk, all right? Then option D is half. Even though we have L in half, L is silent. It's not half, it is half, all right? So we have been able to look at the past WAEC question on consonant sounds. And we have been able to illustrate how to identify the correct option in this exam. I want to believe that you gained the principles and the rules guiding this process. This is how it has been in today's lecture. I want to thank you for listening. If you are new to my channel and if you have gained something from this lecture, why not subscribe to the channel and click also on the bell icon so that you have free access to all the videos I upload on this channel. And of course, I upload videos regularly. On this channel, we teach all the areas of proficiency in English, whether it is writing skills, or it is phonology and phonetics, or it is summary writing or comprehension. We even teach content writing, content creation. We teach creative writing as well. Of course, I recently uploaded a video on how to write a novel, 10 practical steps. So when it comes to the use of the language, that is what we do on this channel. And of course, digital marketing, content writing, content marketing, we upload videos that add value to the lives of our viewers. So if you are interested, you can subscribe to our channel and be getting notifications whenever we upload a new video. And if you have some comments as to how I can improve the quality of my lectures, please be kind enough to leave your comments below. If you have any commendations that will encourage me to continue to upload more videos like this, that is also welcome. If you have any topics you want me to discuss in subsequent lectures, you can also make the suggestion. So that's how it has been in today's video. Watch out for the video on on vowel sounds. Let's clean our screen. All right. On vowel sounds, look out for the lecture on vowel sounds and other aspects of spoken English. See you in the next video, and bye-bye for now.